Hey guys, me again. And I kind of want to have a small food for thought about the spectrum of schizophrenia and psychosis and delusions and the aspects of what the pattern has been for those people with those conditions of the mind. And something has kind of dawned on me that as human beings, we're here living a ordinary life down here in the world, and we don't really understand much more about the universe, about the constructs of what is plausible to be out there. And by gathering an accumulation of thought and experiences as well, I kind of came to this concept of how the word schizophrenia came upon with the Greek definition of split mind. And I believe that it's a spectrum that's not really talked about having your conscious and subconscious be very active. And we're still trying to understand the difference between the subconscious and the conscious and the aspects behind the gifts that the subconscious can give you, because I say they as there are many divine creations of the universe that the typical norm don't come across. But when you go through articles of review, summary, psychic mediums, there's always a higher power. And I believe there is a higher self, our old soul self, out here in the system of reality and trying to guide us into the best aspects of what our lives can be. And, as human, we are very stubborn and arrogant because we just are naturally programmed that way. So it's hard to trust within, especially if you made like a lot of mistakes before too in your life, and you need to let go of patterns of reality and trust within that you're kind of being guided into a better evolution of life. And one of the aspects that we are here for as humans is, we're here to learn lessons. We're here to grow our soul, to become a better you. And there's this thing about schizophrenia to where I believe that in relation to psychic mediums, about clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, that there is a correlation behind that. And I believe they are the ones that are capable of communicating with these unknown forces of reality. And a lot of them is very overwhelming because we don't understand in a majority of like who they're talking about, what they're talking about, because it's just not in the statistical norm. There's been some articles or review that it's only 0.36% of the population of the whole world that has to deal with this conditioning. And a lot of people usually can't go about their normal lives because they're just consumed up in their mind. But I believe that if we're able to help realign the mind, body, and spirit and emotions to be more present, it would be a lot easier on the day-to-day to manage. There are a lot that's coming out with quantum physics and the whole quantum spectrum of science and study, and psychology, hypnosis as well. And it's been very peculiar getting into quantum healing hypnosis. And there are situations to where maybe that is the plausibility. That is the plausibility of the split mind spectrum, and why there's a correlation to psychic mediums and schizophrenia, that the psychic mediums are the ones who are disciplined in their trade. and their skill. And the ones that are just titled schizophrenia, they're the ones that are not disciplined, not trained, and they run wild and amok. Think of it like job training. That you're not going to master something right away. It takes practice. It takes time. You're gonna make mistakes. It's okay. It's part of life. But there's things to where once you kind of have a more understanding of the subconscious, and my perspective of having that awaken and understand the guidance that they're trying to tell you in life, as long as it's on the spectrum of love and compassion and good, because that's what everything is in this universe, is born of good and light energy. There are things that have turned dark in all of reality, and conditioning can be done in reverse spectrum as well. But through the exchange of research in the psychedelics that, such as DMT, psilocybin, even THC, that there has been multiple constructs of situations where that they go into this psychosis state, but they all have the same correlational things of what they see, the greater divine entities of the universe, and communication with those. And if you go upon videos and research and actually interview people who have had these experiences, they can all, nominally agree that there are creations out here in the universe that are good and some that are bad to cause terror. But I believe that's where schizophrenia comes aligned with the split mind spectrum, is like you're split from the reality, that you're not fully present here because you're also out there in the universe, communicating with these things. And you have to decipher, the good and the bad. And that's why you treat others the way you want to be treated back, with always having love and compassion, to the situation of life. But I've gone through my own personal experiences when my mind spiraled down by being stressed out, overran with emotions, lack of sleep, wrong medication in me, and definitely overstressed out too, by having a lot of events in my life kind of trigger all at once to cause me to get broken, and then losing my mind as well, not really understanding a lot of the things that happened. And one of my own situations that I can recall is literally having a divine prayer out there saying that they could utilize me as a test subject for, the creations of humans. And the whole situation of life is just very peculiar to the events, because I did not understand a lot that has happened to me in the recent months, to where I had a lot of changes in personality in correlation to understanding the elements of nature, from, we'll pull out astrology, from like fire sign, earth sign, water sign, air sign, and the different archetypes of Aries, Cancer, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, etc. And I remember going through phases of changes like that, like instantly, like upon review of having those distorted voices that I didn't really quite understand at first, but it was more, from what I believe, the divines that are out there, having their science test, because I said that it was okay. And it's I didn't quite understand it until I watched like a quantum healing hypnosis video QHHT Cape Town. You know, very awesome channel, very strong practitioner. If you're out there in that area of Cape Town, I highly recommend her, Erica. But there's a video that I watched that had communications of the higher self and these beings from the 8th dimension. And, you know, they're not human. They don't understand a lot of the humans. They're just energy. They don't even really have emotions, but they provide the most love and light ever. And they always want the best for us, you know, and that's the beauty behind everything. So what I feel like is happening is, after kind of like watching that video and everything and seeing them go through the situation of the client and having the peculiar interest of just like, we personally never got to see through like the eyes of a human, and we want to open up the eyes if she is okay with that. And they're actually stating that she was scared and everything, and she didn't want to do it. You could see her eyes kind of try to open, and they didn't want to open. But then the situation was able to be more calm and was allowed, and they described like our reality of what they saw through like the rainbow spectrum of colors. And it kind of came to like my conclusion more upon like what happened to my own situation, about my diverse personality changes, instantly testing out the astrology and zodiac signs. I don't know which one of them did all that to me, but it was definitely interesting. And I always thought that I was losing my own mind until I saw that. So it gave me closure more upon like the whole split mind spectrum. I think it's like a split mind of communication that just not a lot of people have in nature. So I believe that it's okay to I believe that it's actually okay to understand if you do have that mental condition of schizophrenia, and that, you know, you're not alone. You're truly not alone, because you have communications with higher entities in like a split dimensional reality. So, but it's all about understanding how to control it and how to bring yourself more present with reality, and then reconditioning your mind to know how to become present. And that just takes time. It takes practice, but it's capable of doing so. But I don't know, that's kind of like my food for thought for this topic. So hope you guys have a good day, and yeah.